Welcome to video number 2 in the 5-video series that we're calling the Unit 3 Test Key. In this one, I will be taking a look at questions 5, 6, 7, and 8. This page is worth a total of 6 points. So question number 5 is worth 2 points. And let's go ahead and take a look. It says each pair of polygons is similar. So this is really, really important to me. They are already similar. And then it wants us to solve for the variables. So I'm going to set up a proportion here, a little 3-way proportion. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do these 3 fractions. And I need, the sides have to be corresponding. So I'll call this triangle 1, and I'll call this triangle 2 again. I kind of did that in video 1. And it kind of helps me a little bit. So I would like to go small to large, but I have variables in here, so I don't know which is which. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to base it on where they are with respect to their sides. So that number 1 triangle, I'm just going to go ahead and name this number 1 triangle by whatever method I want. So I'll go 3x plus 2, and then I'll go 8, then I'll go 5. So that order really doesn't matter. You can go whichever order you want. Now, the order from the second triangle does matter. If you think about where the 3x plus 2 is, look at the angles. So it is connecting the double angle, the one that has marked with 2 angles, and the 0 angle. So the double angle and the 0 angle, it connects them. So if I look over here on triangle number 2, here's my double angle, and here's my no angle. So if I connect those two, that segment highlighted green is proportional to the segment from triangle 1. So 3x plus 2 would have to go over top of 12. Okay, and we do the same thing here. 8 is next. So 8 is connecting 2 angles. It connects the single and the double. So here's the single mark angle, and here's the double mark angle. So let's go over here. Here's my single mark, here's my double mark. I connect those 2 angles. Now 8 will be over top of 10. Which process of elimination then will get you, or if you want, 5 connects the no angle down to the single angle. So if I connect the no angle up to the single angle, you'll see that 5 and y would have to be similar to one another. Okay, so now if I want to solve for variables, I need to choose any 2 fractions and set up a proportion and cross multiply. So in order to solve the first, I'm going to take a look right here. Okay. Can't get rid of it. Let's try this. That's better. I want to look at just these 2 right here. The 3x plus 2 over 12 and the 8 over 10. And I'm going to write a new proportion. So I'm going to write this one over here. So 3x plus 2 over top of 12. And that has to equal 8 over 10. And I'm going to cross multiply. So 10 times 3x plus 2 would be 30x plus 20. And 12 times 8 is 96. Subtract 20 on both sides. So 30x is equal to 76. So x is whatever I get when I do 76 and I divide by 30. It does not come out to be real pretty. It comes out to be 2.5333333333. So 2.53. It's close enough. If you're writing it as a reduced fraction, the reduced fraction is 38 over 15. Okay. Now, to find y, box this stuff up here, and let me group that together. I'm going to just move this out of the way for a second. And now I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to now look at these two fractions. I'm going to look at 8 over 10 and 5 over y. And I'm going to do the same thing. 8 over 10 is equal to 5 over y. And then I'll cross multiply again. 8 times y is 8y. And 10 times 5 is 50. So y is whatever I get when I do 50, and I divide by 8. If I take 50 and divide by 8, I get 6.25. If you're looking at that as a fraction, a reduced fraction, 25 over 4 would be the reduced fraction there. That's 2 points. That is question number 5. Question number 6. Question number 6 is only worth 1 point because I'm only finding one thing. I'm trying to find x. Now, I tricked a lot of you on this. A lot of you got the answer of 8. And if you remember what we know about similar triangles, two triangles are similar. Their angles are congruent. They are not proportional angles. They are congruent. So you'll notice this top angle is congruent to the top angle. Bottom right is the same as bottom right. And this angle right here, 2x plus 3, has to be the same as this angle over here. So 2x plus 3 has to be equal to 57. Those two angles must be the same. Subtract 3 on both sides. 2x equals 54. Divide by 2, and x is equal to 27. And a lot of people get the answer of 8 here. You got 8 because you were setting up a proportion. This is not proportional. Angles are congruent. All right, question number 7. Again, pretty easy to tell. This is 2 points. And for 2 points, it says AB is a mid-segment. There are several things we know about a mid-segment, namely that the mid-segment is half the distance of the side it is parallel to. So A and B are midpoints. Why do I know that? Because of the definition of mid-segment. So if A is a midpoint, that means this segment right here, from this corner to A, and from the top to A, these two segments have to be the same length because A is a midpoint. So that means y plus 7 has to be equal to 9. Those two segments have to be the same. And then if I want to solve that, subtract 7 on both sides, and I get y to be 2. Now, how do I find x? And there's a rule that says that if you have a mid-segment, it is parallel to one of the sides, and it is half of that side's length. So x is equal to half of that third side. Half of 12 is 6. So you just needed to know some information about mid-segments there. All right, and question number 8. Question number 8 is worth 1 point. It says find the perimeter of the second triangle. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to find the perimeter of the first triangle. 8 plus 6 plus 3. If I were to add those up, is 17. So if I add up around the outside, that is 17 going around. So I can set up a proportion of sides and perimeters. So I need to find the side that is proportional or similar to 28. If you look at 28, 28 connects two angles, the single and the double angle. So on the left triangle, the single and the double angle are connected by that segment. So 8 is the side, 17 is the perimeter. For the second triangle, 28 is the side, perimeter, I don't know. I'll call it P. And then I'll cross multiply. 8 times V is 8P. 28 times 17 is 476. Divide by 8. And 476 divided by 8 is 59.5. 59.5 is that perimeter. Now, what are the other two sides? I don't really know. I could find them by setting up the proportion, doing 8 over 28 is equal to x over 3. And I can do 8 over 28 is equal to 6 over 3. Or I'm sorry, 6 over x, and I could find those other angles or other sides if I wanted to. But it just wants to know the perimeter, and I know that the perimeter is 59.5. That's it for page 2.